Hi, I'm Kayla, and welcome back to Flawed but Floral. Flawed but Floral. Flawed but Floral. Welcome back to my channel, and today I will be doing a story time on college. I put a poll up on my Instagram and asked you guys what story time would you want, and majority of everybody picked the college. And I was debating on where to start with this whole story because I don't want it to be super long, but I do want to give enough information for those who are curious and interested that you sort of know what's going what happened. So if you don't know, I am currently in college. I go to Grand Canyon University, and yeah, I just started there this past spring. So in January of this year is when I transferred there to Grand Canyon University, and that's in Phoenix, Arizona. So I guess now I'm gonna give you the backstory on how I got there. So yeah, I'm just gonna start from the beginning because yeah. So senior year in college, I guess. I mean, stupid. Senior year in high school, I guess that's where I should start. I procrastinated applying to colleges a lot. And if you're in high school and you know you're going to go to college and you know you want to go to college, do not procrastinate on filling out applications and paying attention to updates and due dates and all of that stuff. Because even my high school, I went to Los Alamitos High School, and we were they made sure we were college bound. They made sure that we were applying to colleges, whether it was community, 4-year, private, whatever. They made sure that we were on our stuff and we were applying. We were looking at colleges. We had a whole senior college night that my mom dragged me to every Wednesday, and I hated it. And yes, I still procrastinated, and I still did not do what I was supposed to do, even though they offered so much help. They even had seniors that had already graduated and were currently in college come back and talk to us and how important the whole process was. And yeah, I did not pay attention at all. Well, I paid attention, I just didn't follow their directions. So senior year, I applied to one college, and that was Bowie State University and Maryland, and it was a HBCU. And I wanted to go there so bad because my parents said I can only go out of state for college if it was near family. And my cousin lived in Virginia, and I was like, okay, cool, DMV, that's everything's an hour away, so I'll be fine. And if you don't know, HBCU is a historically black colleges and universities. So I applied there. Remember, that's the only college I went to. And then I went to a college fair at Vanguard University. Remember that college because it's going to be important. So I applied to Bowie State. I did not hear back from them for a while. And I told my mom that I was looking into going into that school, but I haven't heard anything back. And I applied, and I didn't know what to do. So she said to call them and see what was going on, because by this time everybody was already getting acceptance letters and all this other stuff. And remember, I only applied to one university that was across the country in Maryland, and I live in California. So I called, and they were like, hey, yeah, we got your application, but we didn't get your transcripts. And I was like, okay, I can send that over right now. And she's like, okay, cool, send it over, and then we could send you out our decision after that. And I was nervous. I was like, okay, why didn't she just tell me on the phone? But I get it, it's college, or they have to be formal and send you, yeah. So While I'm on the phone with her, and I had just got out of school. Like, this was a school day. I'm talking to her. I remember this day. Like, I was standing in front of Subway. If any of you guys know where, like, Los Alamitos is, or the high school, then I was literally across the street from the high school in the little shopping center, standing across from Subway. And I went on my phone, and I sent her the unofficial transcripts. And then I also, once I actually got home, I went online and I ordered and sent her the official ones. And so that happened. I got my decision. I don't know when, but I came home and I had an acceptance letter and I was super excited. And yeah, that was it. So when it was time to, like, it was the following summer. So after graduation and all that stuff, it was time to move in. I had missed the housing deadline. So I'm trying to, like, rush this story so it don't be super long. But I missed the housing deadline, but I still went out there and went for orientation because I was talking to a few girls over the summer. We were supposed to rent a room from someone or get an apartment. All of that fell through. The one girl that I was finally talking to, me and her was supposed to rent a room from someone that was already going to the university. That had fell through because she had decided she just wanted to commute from home. And this was literally the week of orientation, so school was starting the next week. So I was in Maryland with no housing, across country. My cousin lived in Virginia, which, yes, it's an hour away from Maryland, but if I have a 7 a.m. class, that means I have to get up at, like 5 to find an Uber or a bus or something to get to school. And I was like, yeah, no. And my mom was like, I'm not leaving you out here if you don't have anywhere to stay. So I came back to California, and then I had to talk with my parents, and we looked at the school and all the budget and everything. And in my mind, I had decided I was going back there next spring. But after looking at all the finances and all of that stuff, it was too expensive. So they decided that I was going to go to Vanguard. Remember, I said that I mentioned this university earlier. I went to Vanguard for a college fair. And anybody who know or have been to a college fair, you know, every table you go to, they have these little cards that you fill out. You put your name, what school you go to, what major, and your email address or something like that. It's been so long since I had to fill out one of those. But that's basically what you put on there. And so during, like, the whole time of me, like, finding a college, Vanguard would call me every day. Like, the counselor that I had for that school, she would call me every day, and I wouldn't answer. Like, I would answer, and then after a while I stopped answering. Then they started calling my dad, and then he found out it was a Christian university. And if you don't know, my dad's a pastor, so he was like all for it. So he was like, oh, you should just go to this school. And I'm like, no, I shouldn't. So that's what happened. So once I got back, they decided that and I say they because I did not want to go to this school at all. I had my mindset I was going to go to HBCU, and that's what I wanted to do. I did not want to go to no regular school or PWI. I was like, no, this is not happening. But the following spring, I enrolled there, and I skipped like a whole part. So we're going to fast forward. I'm so sorry if this video is like all over the place. So now, I'm going to like give a quick little preview of what I've talked about. High school happened. I applied to Bowie State University. I got in. I flew to Maryland, went to the campus, didn't have housing, so I came home. And by that time, as I said, fall semester was starting the next week. Like the week that I had flew to Maryland, that following week, classes were starting for like every university. So by the time I got back home, it was too late for me to apply and go to any other college or university. Like, I was pretty much done until spring, which is literally what happened. But while I was also in high school, I don't know how, but somehow I got in contact with GCU, or maybe I feel like they were at the school fair that I went to at Vanguard because they are a Christian university also. so they're probably there, but I'm not confident at all. But I had toured GCU when I was in high school, and I had no bad feelings about it. Like, it was a great school. It was super, like, their buildings and everything was super modern, super up to date. Everybody there was nice and everything. But it felt too comfortable to me. Like, even though I go there now, it felt like La Salle 2.0, which, if you don't go, I don't even know how to me, that's what it felt like. And if you go to La Salle, and if I explain how GCU is, then you would understand. Or if you go to La Salle and you now go to GCU, which, if you do, freaking comment down below. We could be friends, because I legit have, like, no friends, sadly. But that's another story for another day. But, yeah, it literally felt like my high school just on the college level. And I was like, I'm not going here. Like, this is a great school. And they have Chick-fil-A on their campus. God knew what he was doing when he placed Chick-fil-A on their campus. But, so yeah, I visited there. It was a great school. I had a great scholarship to go there. The lady, well, my counselor for that school while I was in college, oh my God, in high school, she was amazing. When I went to visit, expenses was all paid. I didn't have to pay for anything. And I just had a great time. But I was just like, this feels like high school just on a college level. So no. So that was in high school. That's how I, again, decided to go to Bowie State, and everything happened and got accepted and fell through. So, yeah. I told that story because it's going to be relevant later. So back to now spring. I am now going to Vanguard University because, as I said, once I got back home to California, it was too late for me to go to any other college or university. So I have to start in the spring. And the school that my parents decided that I was going to go to was Vanguard University, which is in Costa Mesa, California, like Orange County area near Newport, or not that you guys need to know. But so I went there, and everybody was super nice. I was like, why is everybody being so nice to me? And again, my counselor was superb. Even me starting a semester late, she was still amazing. She made sure I had everything. Even like my username for me to sign up for housing, the freaking, what do you call those people? Technology department, to whoever that creates your username. I did not get a username until the day of orientation because they cannot figure out how to make my username unique for only me, because my name is so common, and they didn't know how to make my username, like I said, unique for me. Even though I told them, hey, I have a middle name and I go by this name, which is Kayla. Like, if you want to incorporate that, then that's fine. They're like, no, we have to use a government name, da 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 da. I was like, okay, good luck with that, because I know my name is super common, so that's going to take a long time to figure out. So I didn't get my username until the day of orientation. And yeah, it's a great school. Like, it's not a bad school at all. It's just super small, and yeah, I just didn't picture, like, that isn't what I wanted for college. Like, that's not the experience I wanted or where I wanted to go. However, I don't regret going there at all, because I've learned so much going there, and I gained so many great friends that I freaking love. They're truly amazing. And the connection that I was able to have with my professors, it really taught me a lot on the importance of your professor, and the connection you make with them is very important and essential to to being able to take full advantage of the services and the opportunities that they give you. So I don't regret going to that school. However, I also don't regret transferring, because I don't think that was just the place for me to stay for all 4 years, because I had so much growing to do. like just transferring to GCU, I I feel like I grew so much more. Um, so like I was saying, I went there. It was super small. They only had when I first got there, they only had a little over 2,000 students, and my high school had over 3,000 students. So I was just like, I literally see everybody every day. Like, this person lives next door to me on my floor, and now she's in my math class and my English class and my psychology class. And I'm just like, this is college. Like, I should not see the same people every day. But that was also something that I loved. Like, you can meet someone and see them tomorrow, next week, the day after that. You guys can go have lunch. You guys can go to Target. Like, you guys can really become friends because it's that easy, because you're always going to see each other. And your professors, I would be able to walk to the cab from my room and see my professor and be like, hey, like, what's up? I mean, not what's up, because that's my professor. But I'd be like, hey, or just pop up in their office hours, like, yeah, so I'm having a problem with this, or can you help me out with this assignment? Because that's how easy it was, and that's how small the university was, that the professors were always available to us. Like, it wasn't any strict office hours, oh, you can only come during this time and no other time after that. Not saying that my university that I go to now is like that, but at Vanguard it was so much easier and simple to have access to certain people. Like, the dean of students, like, she was amazing. Like, I could go to her office and talk to her and have a whole conversation. I have no idea who the heck the dean of students is at GCU, even though I probably should, but it's just that difference. Yeah. So I was at GCU for 2 years. So my freshman year and my sophomore year, and then I transferred, like I said, this January. And mainly because I just didn't want to stay there. I didn't see myself graduating from there. Because when I first got there, I'm like, okay, you don't want to be here. How are you going to make this time productive and easier for you? So that was my mindset. Like, okay, my parents want me here, so I'm going to stay here for 2 years. Then after that, I'm done, and I'm going to HBCU because that's where I want to be. So, yeah. So, fall of 2019, which was my last semester there, I started applying to all the HBCUs I was interested in. I applied to Langston, Xavier, Clark, and I think that's it, because those were like the main three I was interested in. And I know I applied to Bowie State when I was in high school. Oh my gosh. And y'all are probably like, why didn't you just apply there again? When I went to visit, okay, so I live in California. I'm used to everything being sort of city-like, even though that's probably like a super small mindset to have. Now I know better, but I'm used to everything being city. You can walk to the store down the street. The mall is like down the street, and get in your car, you could drive. It'll get like 5 minutes. The grocery store down the street, or if you want, you could go to the next city over. Bro, when we went to see Bowie State, first of all, we left at like 6 in the morning because my cousin lived in Virginia, and we had to drive to Maryland. I was super tired. And then, like, the sign, it said we were in the city, but we just kept driving, and all I saw was trees on both sides. I'm just like, and they were tall. I was just like, okay, we got trees, more trees. Oh, there's trees down there too? Okay. Drive another 20 minutes. Dang, we still by the trees? Like, it was just so many trees. And it was no grocery store, no Target, no Walmart. Then we finally got to the university, and it was still trees, like, everywhere, which I love. That is so beautiful. Like, all, like, oh, I can't even talk. Like, it's so beautiful just to see nature and knowing that I could just breathe because in the city we do have trees, but it's also a lot of traffic, so that's smog and carbon monoxide. Is that carbon monoxide? Carbon monoxide. Yeah, I don't know. Comment down below. I don't know. But so I wasn't used to that. So when we finally got there, I'm like, okay, there's still trees everywhere. And driving here, I don't even remember what our closest grocery store or anything was, because all I saw was trees. And then all the buildings were like in between trees. And I was just like, okay. So that's why I didn't decide to apply to that school for this while I was deciding where I was going to go after I transferred from Vanguard. So yeah, so again, if you're in high school, it's very important to keep up with due dates, everything you're supposed to submit, when you're supposed to submit it, and also view your campus. Even if you can't afford to fly there, make sure you go online and you take a virtual tour, because I know now, even on YouTube, they have a lot of tours of different campuses and stuff. So make sure you do that, because you don't want to go there like me and be like, okay, I'm completely culture shocked. Like, what am I supposed to do here? So make sure you do all of these things. What they tell you in high school when it comes to like applying and going to visit and getting to know people beforehand, that's very important. So do that. So like I said, I applied to Langston, Xavier, and Clark Atlanta University. And I also applied to GCU again because I knew I would get in. Not to be cocky, but I knew that if everything else fell through, that if everything else fell through, I can get into this school, and I know I would be okay with going there. Like, of course, it's not my first choice, because as I've been saying throughout the whole video, I wanted to go to HBCU, but I know I could go here and still make the best out of my time, because I've learned to do that by going and attending Vanguard. So I applied to Langston and Xavier first. I got in. Langston, it was very weird. Like, the communication was sort of off for me, and that's why I didn't continue with the whole enrolling process. Like, and me being dumb, I was like, okay, that's in Oklahoma. It's like right there, because I live in California, and I'm thinking Oklahoma is like right next door, like it's by Arizona or something, and it's literally all the way by freaking Texas. So that's like my fault. And because I was super excited, I was like, because the closest HBCU is in Texas, so if I could just go right next door to Oklahoma, that's even better. Then I actually looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, well, Oklahoma is like darn near Texas, so yes, that's not a win at all. But that's mainly why I chose that school. But the communication between me and like the people in charge of like transferring admins, it wasn't really that great, which I understand, because I've had this problem with other schools that I tried to transfer to. As I feel like the transfer admins, they sort of expect you to already know what you're looking for and the steps you need to take to enroll into their university. Like, of course I do, because I want to go there, so obviously I know something. But as far as like a username, applying for housing, applying for my classes and stuff, hello, you're gonna have to help me with that, because I don't know anything about your university besides your student body, the major that I want to go into, and everything that you offer besides that. So I feel like that was a bit off also. So that's why I didn't decide to go there. Xavier University it's in Louisiana, and I was advised not to go there for like college, especially not knowing anybody in that area personally. So, and I also want to be safe. Like, even though I want to go to HBCU, I'm not going to put myself in danger and put myself in an uncomfortable situation because of the city or the area that it's in. So I didn't go there. Clark Atlanta, I got into, the process was also really slow. Not exactly sure why, but I had to call like every day to make sure all my stuff was in and everything was going smoothly. And when I had finally got like my acceptance letter and stuff, my financial aid letter was like, it was not great. So even after seeing that though, and I talked to my parents about it, because I really wanted to go there. Because at the time my sister was also staying there and my cousin was going to Spelman, even though she like graduated this past spring. But I was like, okay, at least if I go there, I know somebody. And yeah, that financial aid was not great. But I talked to my parents and they're like, okay, if you want to go there, you can go. But just know you're going to have all this debt afterwards. So I still decided to go. And I had paid for, well, my mom had helped me pay for my enrollment fee and all of that stuff, which was like a little under $500. And then I got my, what do you call that thingy? I don't know what it's called, but like the paper they send you to show all the credits that you had from your other university that transferred over to their university. There's a word for it, but I don't know what it's called. But I got that, and it showed all the classes that I took, my GPA, and everything, and how it all transferred over to Clark Atlanta University. And they accepted, mind you, I completed 2 years at Vanguard University. So I was transferring into whatever university I decided to go to as a junior. So that's at least, what, like 60 credits? I think I had like 69, to be honest. So, but it's at least like between 40 and 60. And I got the paper and I saw the classes and I saw everything that transferred, and it literally said 12 credits. And at Vanguard, every class is worth 3 credits. So that means they had only accepted 4 of my classes. And anybody who knows or that's in college, 12 credits is the minimum that they recommend you to take each semester. So I would have basically went there and started off as a freshman. Sorry, y'all, my voice is like weird. And I was like, okay, the financial aid was already me pushing it and taking a risk. But now currently a junior in college, and I'm going to have to start off as a freshman. I really sat there and looked at it. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I showed it to my sister. I had even sent it to one of my professors at Vanguard, because I remember talking to her about it, and she's like, oh no, you're going to this school. Like, you got to accept it mid-year, and like, da-da-da, like, you're going, and this is an amazing opportunity. So I was like, okay, girl, like, I mean, not girl. I was like, okay, I'm going to go then. And I sent it to her, and then she had called me, and she's like, okay, so what are your thoughts? I was like, well, we've talked, so, you know, I really want to go there, and that's like, that was my top choice of school to transfer to, but I'm sorry, I can't start off as a freshman. Like, that's just not what I'm about to do. Like, I done did 2 years of this already, and you want me to do 4 more? Like, just to go to your university? I'm sorry, I love you and all, and that's all great, but no. And, well, I didn't say all that to her, but that's basically what I said. And she's like, yeah, like, I totally get it. And she was saying that that is a great opportunity, and I'm so proud of you for getting in, but to start off like that again, you don't, that's not a very great choice. And I was like, right, as I can tell. I'm sorry, y'all, I keep slapping my legs. I could probably do that. But I was like, yeah, so I can't do that. Well, I'm not going to do that because that isn't beneficial to me at all. So, as I said, GCU was, I don't want to say my last option, but my backup option if all of those fell through. And which they did. So I got on the phone to my GCU rep. I was like, hey, yeah. And I had been going back and forth with her the whole time too. Like, oh no, I'm going to go to GCU. Oh no, I'm going to go to Clark. Oh no, I'm going to go to GCU. Oh no, okay, I decided to go to Clark. And I know she was probably tired of me because I would have been tired. And so I had called her up. I was like, okay, I can't go here because of this, and that reason. Because she asked me, and I was like honest with her. I was like, they're not offering me what I need when it comes to financial aid and my credits. And, like, I just can't do that. And all of this was over winter break. So I wasn't even really paying attention to Christmas because I'm so worried about what school I'm about to go to in January. So Christmas was like a whole, like, whoosh. It just flew on by. So I got on the phone with her. I told her what was going on. And she's like, okay, just give me until tomorrow and I'll have you your housing and classes and all that stuff. And you'll be set to start in January. And tomorrow came. I had my ID. I had my housing. I had my classes. Everything in the matter of like 24 hours. So, yeah. So that's pretty much my whole college story. I hope it wasn't too all over the place. I know I had a lot going on, and I mentioned a lot of colleges and a lot of universities. They're sort of all the same. But I hope that answered any questions you guys had, and by watching this video, you probably learned something. I really hope you did, because you don't want to go through all the runarounds I had to for college and or in high school or anything like that. But also, if you do want to transfer from the university you're at, or if you don't get into your dream university, that is okay, because you can always transfer. And if you don't want to transfer, just make the best out of any situation that you're in. Get involved, start meeting new people, start going out, because you're not going to be able to do these 4, 5, 6, or however many years it takes you again. So always be prepared and have other options. And do not put all your eggs in one basket. Of course, it's great to take a risk, but always have that, okay, if this doesn't happen, how am I going to react? And what can I do? Don't just let everything fall apart and then you're sitting there like, because that's not going to be good for anybody. I have to sneeze so bad. It's like literally burning the heck out of my nose, but I'm trying to hurry up and end this video before it happens. So thank you guys for listening. And yes, I do go to GCU. And somebody asked me in my Q&A, and I forgot to answer it. Somebody asked me a question for my Q&A, and I forgot to answer it. They said, why is my background USC? I did not go to USC. I did not apply to USC. I would never apply to USC unless it's free. But I freaking love that school. Like, I love their football team. That's mainly the reason why. Their college football team. I love it. Like, I don't care how bad they suck. I'm going to be a children for life. But USC is literally like a whole freaking town. And your girl can't do it. I'm barely getting around at the school that I'm at now. But yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. And whoops up.